Dr. Dre's crazy love life and music career. Dr. Dre, who has always been a music aficionado, began working as a DJ in his teens. His breakthrough came with the rap group N.W.A, and he later co-founded Death Row Records in 1991. His debut album, The Chronic, was a great success in 1992. In 1996, Dre founded Aftermath Entertainment and signed Eminem and 50 Cent to his company. He later co-founded Beats Electronics with Jimmy Iovine, making millions from the company's 2014 sale to Apple. It will be great if you like and share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon next to it to get notified when we add new, interesting videos in the future. Now let's get back to the story. How did he spend his early life? Dr. Dre was born Andre Ramel Young and grew up in a musical family. His parents were also vocalists. Verna, his mother, left her band, the Four Aces, soon before Dre was born. His middle name comes from one of his father Theodore's bands, the Ramels. Dre moved in with his mother when his parents divorced, and she remarried multiple times. They traveled around a lot and resided at the Wilmington Arms housing project in Compton at one point. Dre had an aptitude for drafting while attending Centennial High School, but he paid little attention to his other classes. He attended Vermont High School before transferring to Chester Adult School, but he wasn't interested in schooling. He wanted to compose music. He obtained a music mixer for Christmas in 1984 and quickly converted his family's house into a recording studio. He would work his magic for hours on end, combining bits and pieces of other tunes and sounds to create his own sound. Dre began hanging out at LA nightclub Eve After Dark, where he ultimately got his opportunity to spin records. He became a member of the world-class Wrecking Crew, which played in nightclubs and created the rap persona of Dr. Dre, the master of mixology. His new name was inspired in part by basketball legend Julius Dr. J. Irving. In 1985, Dre formed N.W.A, Niggas with Attitude, with fellow rappers Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Yella, MC Ren, the Arabian Prince, and the D.O.C. He was able to develop a more hard-hitting sound with his new band. The lyrics of N.W.A were equally brutal and frank, depicting life in the streets. Straight Outta Compton, 1988, the group's second album, sold over 2 million copies and heralded the birth of a new genre, gangsta rap. Quote-unquote "Fuck the Police," one of the tracks, sparked a tempest of criticism. The song, which dealt with tensions between black youth and police, was supposed to promote violence. The FBI even issued Ruthless Records and its parent business a warning letter about the song. Dre achieved the top of the hip-hop charts with The Chronic on Death Row Records in 1992 after breaking out on his own and on a new record company. The album's biggest success was Nuttin' But a G-Thang, which featured Snoop Dogg, a little-known rapper at the time. Dre's most recent album helped to popularize G-Funk, which combined musical samples and melodies from funk with gangster rap. Dre had long loved the work of bands like Parliament and Funkadelic. In 1999, Dre released his second solo album in 2011. The song sold millions of copies and was a smash on both the hip-hop and mainstream charts. Over the following few years, Dre teased fans with word of a forthcoming third album, Detox. Despite the fact that tracks from Detox were leaked, the project was repeatedly postponed and the album was never published. Dr. Dre as a producer and record executive. Dr. Dre has been helpful in establishing the careers of countless hip-hop and rap musicians behind the scenes. He worked as a track producer for many of the artists on Ruthless Records, which he co-founded with Eazy-E. Dre also collaborated with Michelle on her debut album. Dre collaborated with N.W.A on much of the group's content. In 1991, Dre co-founded the rap music business Death Row Records with Marion "Suge" Knight. He collaborated on Snoop Dogg's debut album Doggy Style in 1993, as well as Tupac Shakur's All Eyes on Me in 1996. That same year, Dre quit Death Row Records to avoid the growing contentious West Coast/East Coast rap dispute. Rappers Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls were killed as a result of the fight. In collaboration with Interscope Records, Dre created his own label, Aftermath Entertainment. He signed a slew of musicians to Aftermath, but his two biggest hits came from Eminem and 50 Cent. Dre was chastised initially for signing white artist Eminem, but he quickly proved his detractors wrong. He was the producer of multiple popular albums by Eminem, including the Slim Shady LP 1999 and the Marshall Mathers LP 2001. Dre collaborated with 50 Cent on several albums, including his first blockbuster Get Rich or Die Tryin' 2003. Legal issues and violence against women. Dre hasn't only rapped about violence or irresponsible behavior throughout the years. He has lived some of his songs since he has had multiple run-ins with the cops. He allegedly attacked TV anchor Denise Barnes and attempted to throw her down a flight of stairs in 1991. Dre faced assault charges and a civil suit for his actions, which were spurred by a piece she had done regarding Ice Cube's departure from N.W.A. Dre faced assault charges and a civil suit for his acts, but both parties opted to settle out of court. Dre was charged with assault again the following year for allegedly assaulting producer Damon Thomas. A few months later, he was arrested for violence against a police officer. Dre appeared to carry his reckless conduct to its logical conclusion in 1994 when he led authorities on a high-speed chase while inebriated. Dre was sentenced to many months in jail and made to pay a fee for violating his probation. For the previous violent incident, he completed his sentence in 1995. Dre's legal action with Denise Barnes would continue to plague him as more women came out regarding Dre's abusive behavior against them in the 1990s. Dre acknowledged his previous misdeeds in an August 2015 interview with the New York Times. Quote, 25 years ago, I was a young man drinking too much and in over my head with no real structure in my life, unquote. He explained, quote, but none of this is an excuse for what I did. I've been married for 19 years, and every day I'm working to be a better man for my family, seeking guidance along the way. I'm doing everything I can so I never resemble that man again. I apologize to the women I've hurt. I deeply regret what I did and know that it has forever impacted all of our lives, unquote, he said. Dre's hip-hop career. Dre expanded his hip-hop brand by co-founding Beats Electronics with record producer Jimmy Iovine in 2008. He started the company's audio line with the enormously famous Beats by Dr. Dre studio headphones, which were followed by numerous successful goods supported by pop and hip-hop musicians. Beats Music, an internet music streaming service, was also launched in January 2014. The Jimmy Iovine and Andre Young Academy for Arts, Technology, and the Business of Innovation have also been financed by the two partners. Apple announced the $3 billion acquisition of Beats in May 2014. According to Forbes, the acquisition lifted Dre's net worth to almost $800 million, making him the richest rap celebrity. Dre and Iovine joined Apple as executives as part of the largest transaction in Apple's history. Apple stated in 2016 that it was developing Vital Signs, a scripted television series based on Dre's biography, with Dre serving as an executive producer. Dr. Dre announced the release of his long-awaited third album, Compton, a soundtrack, on iTunes and Apple Music in August 2015. Dre said that the album, which was released to coincide with the premiere of Straight Outta Compton, a documentary about the emergence of N.W.A, was inspired by his time on the film set. Headphones lawsuit. In 2014, a former hedge fund manager called Stephen Lamar sued Dre and Iovine, alleging that he was cheated out of royalties as the guy who proposed and created the concept of celebrity-endorsed headphones for Beats Electronics. The defense recognized Lamar's efforts but argued that he was only entitled to royalties from the first type of headphones. In 2015, a judge dismissed Lamar's claims, but the case was reopened in an appeals court the following year, and in June 2018, a Los Angeles Superior Court jury determined that Beats owed Lamar an extra $25.2 million in royalties. Personal life and health. Dre became a parent for the first time in high school. Curtis, his first kid, was 20 years old when he met him. Another high school romance resulted in the birth of a daughter called LaTonya. Dre was also in a relationship with vocalist michel'le, who had collaborated with him in the world-class Wrecking Crew, and they had a kid called michel'le together. He had another son, Andre R. Young Jr., with Janita Porter in the late 1980s. Andre Jr. died of a heroin overdose in 2008. Dre married Nicole Triat in 1996. They are the parents of 2 children, a son named Truth and a girl named Truly. In June 2020, Treat filed for a divorce. Dre is not the only one in his family that is a performer. Warren G., his stepbrother, had multiple successes in the 1990s. Curtis, his son, is a rapper who goes by the stage moniker quote-unquote Hood is a surgeon. Dre was admitted to the hospital on January 4, 2021 for a suspected brain aneurysm. Quote, "I appreciate my family, friends, and fans' attention and well wishes," unquote. Dr. Dre stated in a statement, quote, "I'm doing well and receiving fantastic treatment from my medical staff. I'll be released from the hospital and return home soon. Thank you for all of the wonderful medical staff at Cedars-Sinai," unquote. He's got 6 kids by 5 different women. Andre Young was a father of 2 by the time he graduated from high school in the early 1980s. According to Next Shark, Dre fathered a kid, Curtis Young, with his girlfriend Cassandra Green. The father and son did not communicate until the younger guy was 20 years old, and after a positive DNA match test established that he was Dre's son. Dre had a kid with another adolescent called Lisa Johnson around the same time, a daughter named LaTonya, via biography. A paternity suit was filed against his second son, Andre Young, when he was a toddler. He unfortunately died in his sleep in 2008 at the age of 20. According to Billboard, Dre dated and was engaged to R&B singer and former world-class Wrecking Crew bandmate michel'le from 1990 to 1996. Marcel Young, their son, was born in 1991. Via the Washington Post. Are you still keeping up? Great. Dre married Nicole Triat in 1996, and they have 2 children, a boy named Truce and a daughter named Truly. According to NBC, the couple split in 2021 after more than 20 years of marriage. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Bye.